Hi, I'm Katie Levnick, and I teach the University of Washington Forest and Society class this year. As your student might have already told you, this is a class where you can get high school credit, and if you choose to, you can pay for University of Washington credit as well. And the way that works is they charge per credit. They also have an annual registration fee. If you have multiple UW classes, you only pay that once. But if you were to pay it all, I think it's $325 for the 5 credits plus $45 for that annual registration fee. My second semester course, if your student's enrolled in that, also is a 5 credit course at University of Washington. So the cool thing about this partnership is that if students take this class at the high school, they can get one full year of credit for each semester. And so the way that works, because it's a college class, is they get a semester of science credit and a semester of elective credit for each single semester that they're in the class. So this is a great fit for students who need some credits to graduate. It's a great fit for students who want to get the University of Washington credit, which means when they go to college, they can bring that transcript to whatever college they go to, and more than likely they'll save on tuition because they'll already have some college credits on there. And it's super cool because from my understanding, when they have that transcript, it just shows they took the course, the year, the semester, and their score. It doesn't show that they took it as a high school student or they took it as with a high school teacher. It is given the same amount of weight as if they were taking the course at the university. And so as it's been explained to me by the professor who teaches at the university, I use all of her lectures, I use her tests, I do most of her same grading policies, and she's approved what I've done and how I've adjusted it at the high school level. I really like that I'm able to offer this course. It is a non-majors course at University of Washington, so she describes it as it's a lot of the cool, interesting stuff without all the hard details that maybe if you were in a environmental science major, but it does count as a science class there as well. So I follow her policies, which means we do 5 quizzes during the year. The quizzes are not cumulative. There is not a final exam. The final project is a video that students will create about forests, and we'll make YouTube links, and I'll share them with her, and she really likes that as well. So if you were to be a University of Washington student after this, you would have credits. If you go to a university that accepts college in the classroom credits, you would have credit. As I understand, every school in Washington will count these credits towards your graduation of your undergraduate, except for Whitworth University. Apparently they don't accept any credits, so they're the only exception to that rule. But when they surveyed students who have been across the country, and those students basically said that about 85% said my transcript from University of Washington was accepted at my new university, and I got to pay less money for tuition. And again, if you were a University of Washington student taking this course, it would cost you about $2,000. If you take it here at Camas High School, it costs about $360 if you include that registration fee. So what if you don't want to go to college, or you don't want to pay for this university of credit? You don't have to. You still get the high school credits. You're still doing all of those same opportunities. We're still doing the learning. And you can still get the extra credits for the high school course. You just don't get the college transcript in the end. If you are interested in University of Washington credit, I have linked that on Google Classroom. The students know where to find it. It's right near where the Zoom links can be found. And registration has to happen before the end of October. So I'd encourage you to do that sooner rather than later. So this course, Forest and Society, is a little bit more of a social science than a science class. We talk a lot about the history of humans and the use of forests and colonialization in search for timber reserves. We talk about preservation of forests, both culturally and scientifically, and the importance. We talk about soil. We talk about uses. We talk about non-timber forest products. So we talk about a range of activities and tasks. You can see all of those on the syllabus, which is also linked at the top of your student's Google Classroom. One thing I really like about this course is that at University of Washington, they teach it in a 45-day period, and we have about double that time. So the way I've designed our course is to have a lot of our days of school as work days for students to get work done. Because we're doing this online learning, I record the lectures I take what would be an hour-long lecture at University of Washington, and I break it into 4 to 6 videos. And then I assign your students to watch those videos, and I also assign them some questions that go with those. And so basically they watch a video, they answer a simple question that shows me they watched that one. They watch the next video, they answer a question and submit it. So those are the 6-point assignments you might be noticing in Skyward. We also assign homework, just like they do at University of Washington, 30-question assignments, which I assign every week or so, but students get to pick which 10 questions they want to answer. And so that's what you see when you see it written under homework. We do reviews, just like they do at UW, and the reviews are basically 10 multiple choice questions where we engage in discussion as a class, and the students can listen to each other's ideas. So the review would be like a multiple choice question, and then they can discuss, well, I think it's A because, or I'm leaning towards C because of this. And then students get to make their own decision and choose their own answer. And they get graded based on those. As I said before, there's 5 quizzes. I ask that those quizzes are open book, open note, open PowerPoint, open lecture, but not open peers. So that other than that, though, everything's allowed to be open book, open resource. All the resources can be found on Google Classroom. So right now we meet in person with live videos twice a week, and 3 days a week they have independent work time. Those independent days are often lectures or like a homework work day, or now's a good time to be reading the articles related to this unit. So a lot of students have done a great job keeping up with their work, and you'll see that because they have over 100 in the class right now. A few students are letting work pile on, and I'd really argue that that's not the right choice and we need to change our ways. We don't want to get too far behind. I probably assign about 3 to 4 hours of work a week, maybe a little less if you're keeping up with it. But remember, we have science 5 days a week. So if students don't have live sessions, they should still be logging in and checking what was scheduled for science that week. To make it a little easier and give students a little bit more control, I do post everything on Friday afternoon for the following week. So if they know they have a busy week with other courses and they want to get ahead in science, that is always an option. So Friday afternoons before I go home, I always make sure that I post the work for the next week. I want to encourage you, if you have any questions or concerns, or your student has any questions or concerns, please, I can only be as helpful as I know that I need to be. So I need emails, I need to hear back any feedback that you have, any suggestions. I would really appreciate it. We seem to have a great group this year, and I've really enjoyed getting to know them. And they're doing a really good job kind of jumping in and collaborating and communicating together. But I'm excited to work with your students this year. Hope to meet them in person one day. But until then, please know I'm always available by email. I am less responsive on weekends. I seem to be working late into the evening, so I'm still responsive there, but hopefully I'll figure out a way to not work my entire life. So I look forward to meeting you one day. Let me know if there's anything I can do to support you or your student. Email or communicate via Parent Square, and that would be great. Thanks. Have a good day.